showed this many Marines. There's no way he just keeps making Marines. It's a weird thing. Like, because if Leenock had a spy in there, it could have turned out very, very differently, especially with 3 queens, maybe a transfuse.
Right.
It's a very difficult thing to do. But I like it. It's Apocalypse saying, okay, you can 10 pull me. I'm going to 3 racks and pull a whole bunch of Marines. No SCVs, which I guess would have been like the all-in form of that.
Right.
But still, it was a very, very strong pressure, and I liked it.
Okay, well, Leenock's certainly going to have to react to it, and he is spawning down here at the bottom left-hand corner of Daybreak as our blue Zerg player down 0-1 in this best of 3. His opponent here in the upper right-hand corner is our red Terran player from Team Quantic Gaming, the one and only Apocalypse.
Woohoo!
That's right, the Quantapocalypse himself. Yeah, okay, so obviously we had games that were played in game number 1. Now, Apocalypse certainly had a pretty good follow-up to that as well. Yes, losing all the Marines would have hurt had Leenock been prepared, or had he had a super early ban the nest, or something weird like that. But Apocalypse was on 3 command centers afterwards. Yes, his tech would have been really critically delayed, but I mean, he certainly had the potential to stay safe even if something weird would have happened.
Yeah. Now imagine if instead of some of the drones, or somehow their Leenock just barely held off the Marines, and then he went into Banelings really, really quickly, or if he had the gas to do that. That's the huge threat, because then, okay, well, he only has 3 racks. He has 3 CCs and a bunch of SCVs, but he doesn't really have a wall up front. He has these barracks behind. He'd have to maybe lift them to reposition them, and even then, maybe the Banelings would somehow get in that critical transition period. So that was the risk that he took. I think by I need to at least do damage or really prevent him from being able to go into Banelings, because Leenock loves to do that sort of, well, I'm coming for you. You came for me, I'm coming right back.
Yeah, well, he is going to open with a hatch first this time, and that's I mean, nothing out of the ordinary, of course, on Daybreak. If you're not going to go for that early pull, you're probably going to see that hatch first. Although we have seen a couple of Zerg players lately that have been toying around with pool first against Terran players. It's happened a couple of times in our Team League events, although I don't know if that's necessarily catching on.
Yeah, I think it's a very safe, or even almost a scared position to take.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Well, for now, though, looks like we're going to prioritize speed here, make sure that he gets up enough gas that he can have that speed right away. Of course, you have a couple of different possibilities whenever you decide to go for that hatch first. Some players, although it's falling a little bit more out of favor, will sit back on just spawning pool, no gas, go up to 4 queens, spread their creep out, make sure they have the queens for early defense, and then, of course, you can decide to throw in gas, or you can throw gas first to make sure you have that 100 gas just as that spawning pool finishes.
Very true. And there's a little really cool mind game here that Leenock did as well. Remember the 10 pull, he lost it, right? It wasn't that good of a game. He got behind because of it. But now, this game, he's doing the opposite. He's playing very, very greedy. If the Terran here had went for 2 racks, it would have just killed him. Very, very likely if both players played equally. Because you went gas first. Because he's getting like his spawning pool just that little bit extra delayed, but it's something like maybe an 18 pool if there wasn't gas. So it's just very delayed to get links. If you notice, he hasn't even... Has he drone scouted? I don't think there's been a drone scout even here from him.
Just Overlord
so
far.
So this is very like, okay, I just 10 pulled you. You're knocking at 2 racks. I know what you're doing. I'm in your head, and that's how Leenock likes to play.
And Leenock picks up on this 3rd command center, too, so he's got a really good idea of what's going on from his opponent. This has not been that uncommon of a build from a lot of Terran players, making sure that they prioritize their economy nice and early, sit back, and, you know, I've always used the term Zerg-like, the way that some Terran players have been playing lately. They can invest in their infrastructure, they can invest in all their buildings, economy, and then bam, units, a mass production from there on out.
Yeah, very true. Like expand like crazy, and then do a whole bunch of stuff, right?
And then, consequently, we've seen some Zerg players that have been taking the other approach then. They've been like, okay, well, I don't need 5 bases. Maybe I just need 3 bases and Broodlords and while moving to my 4th and I attack. So
that's the beauty of the metagame.
Yeah.
It just keeps changing.
And it also kind of goes in cycles, too, because now we're starting to see some players are getting back into, well, you know, if you're going to take that many bases, I'm just going to start punishing you for it. So we're starting to... I don't know. It's a kind of a cool time the way the game's shifting.
Oh yeah, there was definitely a time where if a Zerg went 10 pool, everyone would be like, "Well, that was crazy. Why would you ever do a 10 pool against the Terran?" And now it's back in style.
Oh,
it's pretty amazing.
And there we have, ladies and gentlemen, pretty early Roach Warren. Now we'll see what Leenock plans to do with this. He's scouting all across the map, making sure no proxies, nothing weird is out of place. He may catch up. He actually is going to pick off this SCV here in the top left and make sure no delayed scout can make its way through.
That's really good sense. It's really good paying attention from Leenock.
All right, so he takes that down, and we see a bunch of supply being freed up here. So what's the over/under? How many roaches is Leenock going to make?
8. 8 is my guess. It could be wrong. He saw speed, which was really good for Apocalypse to see. And this is purely based on the fact that he saw that 3rd command center there.
Okay, well, indeed. Oh, wow, actually just powering ahead even more roaches for now. Still got some gas to go around, and he is actually double mining it at the moment. And there's the Baneling nest, so a big follow-up here. Roach, Baneling all in, and will Apocalypse have enough to defend this? He's got a very nice position on 2 bunkers, actually, outside of his natural.
Yeah, this is going to be rather interesting. The top bunker is very nicely placed already, and there's already a bottom bunker as well. It's going to be interesting. I think no matter what happens here, I think Leenock will come out with an SCV lead or maybe a worker count lead. The thing he has to wonder is if he can actually go for the kill. And Apocalypse, if he lives, he has 3 command centers to only 2 hatcheries of the Zerg. So that's kind of the trade-off. If Apocalypse lives, if he sees this coming quick enough and can defend even up his ramp, he has a very good situation. But if Leenock just kills him here, I guess that's self-explanatory.
Yeah,
right?
actually, that's just pretty much going to be it. Well, it was kind of a cool move for Leenock. He was actually keeping his opponent so occupied for a while that Apocalypse has no presence on the map. He doesn't know exactly what's coming at him right now. That's a lot of Banelings starting to morph in at the moment. So Apocalypse has already lost a few workers, but can he stabilize enough? He's going up to 2 more barracks and bypassing those Banshees altogether. The first few roaches are initially repelled, but here come the rest of the Banelings. Already Marauders up at the top. The Banelings just burst the perfect explosion up at the front. They take out all 3 structures, and both bunkers are being quickly destroyed.
Wow, nice Baneling focus there. Interestingly enough, this isn't going to be able to kill him, even with all those Zerglings, I don't think. Those Hellions in the back, all this production, you can tell Apocalypse was going for some sort of early pressure if Leenock hadn't done this pressure. But again, if we look at the worker count here, that's going to be the thing, 29 to 21.
Right,
with mules.
But triple mules and 3 command center production at the moment. So Leenock still moving ahead. He's trying to get some more damage done here. These Hellions are all up to full health, and not a one of them has died so far. I don't even think any extra Marines went down, and this Overlord's even going to get killed above. So now Leenock has to make a big decision, but he's already made part of it. He's not drawn up at all. It's just been all roaches popping out back at home.
Yeah, he's going for it. That's kind of the decision where we said is if the Terran lives, he's in a really good position because of that 3cc. So it's interesting to see. I've actually never seen, or haven't seen recently at least, a Zerg that keeps going after a failed one here. I'm really interested to see how it's going to work out.
Okay, well, Apocalypse checking around, making sure there's no more units, and that's the exact moment that Leenock moves his units away.
Snap hacks! I
know, that's like perfect timing for him. Now, this is not good, though. He sees all the Banelings morphing in. Apocalypse knows immediately that this is all in round 2.
Yep, he's got to run those Hellions back. He's got to, I would say, retreat from his command center at the bottom ground. Maybe try and he's throwing down a whole bunch of bunkers. He's gonna stay above ground. Oh boy, this is gonna be close. This is gonna be a cool all-in.
This is very rough. 16 more Lings following this up right now, so Leenock is just gonna move ahead. So many Banelings here, 15 of them as a matter of fact. The bunkers are pretty well defended. Bunker number 1 goes down right away, but that is half of the Banelings neutralized immediately. One of the roaches has actually died too, and the Banelings are just trying to sneak around the side. Oh, and he lifts up the command center that forces the Banelings actually into a closer path there. I don't know about that. I mean, I guess he wanted to save that immediately, but it seems like the Banelings got a better hit on the bunker as a result.
Yeah, but this is really, really good for Leenock.
Yeah.
He didn't go up his ramp, which was kind of what I was saying. Because he lost that many SCVs, now if you look at the count, it was 21-29. Now it's 13-29. Yeah. That was kind of the one thing I don't think he could have let happen. He just needed to stay up here, maybe even redo his supply depots to force some more Banelings to hit supply depots, I think.
Boom, and the Banelings clean up the rest of the units that are sitting inside of the bunker. There's really not that much left for Apocalypse, and it looks like Leenock is going to be able to successfully follow this up with a strong attack. He's making a few more Zerglings because Apocalypse still had enough economy to make a few Marines at a time, but it doesn't matter. GG, and now we're 1-1. All right, so that's game.